talking about the power of numbers. So you're in the Crazy Cash Club. You know, whoever brought you here or told you to come here, you know, if you haven't joined Crazy Cash Club, get with that person and say, give me your specialized link because I want to sign up. You need a specialized link to join, and so you can make this type of money. So get with that person. But the Crazy Cash Club and its list members will be placed first in this business. Remember, it talked about 500,000 to 1 million members being brought in. Guess who goes first? The Crazy Cash Club. We are guaranteed top entry position. So when we get in there, we're going to be in the positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And guess what? Crazy Cash Club has just started, and you're at the top of the Crazy Cash Club. Anyone that's in here now, really, to be honest with you, if you're in the top 5,000 or so, you got it made. I mean, you got it made. And we don't have 5,000 members yet, do we? We just opened up the doors. We just started last Sunday. It hasn't even been a week. You guys are going to get top placement. So you need to hurry and get with that person, because when those people come in, where are they going to go? They have to go after us, and that's going to make us a lot of money. Okay, so let's see what it means for us. Okay, they have a very unique system, and I found something new about the program today, so we're going to talk about that. It's all based on a certain type of 6x3 forced matrix. So what's a 6x3 forced matrix? It's a matrix that has 6 columns and 3 rows. So it starts with you, and this is how it works. Since it's forced, that means when you bring people in, they have to come in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the next 6 go underneath this person, the next 6 there, and so on. But what's good about it, if you're in your sponsor, and of course you will be, your sponsor's matrix, you'll be part of this, as he brings people in, it can start filling up your matrix. And people that you bring in people, it starts filling up your matrix. And guess what? You get paid for every person in this matrix, regardless if you brought them in or not. If you didn't bring a single person in, but they all came from your upline and the people started sponsoring, guess what? You still get paid. And this is a very small matrix because there's only about 258 people. Now, how many thousands and thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of times do you think 258 can go into 1 million? Think about that for a change. I mean, lots and lots of people are going to start with full matrices. But on this one particular scenario, on just one of the matrices, how much do you think that would be? It's about $2,300. Actually, a little bit more than that. It's what you can make on this particular matrix right here. $2,300. And that's not bad, even if you signed up as a free member. If you get activated as a free member, guess what? You don't have to start paying any type of membership fees. It can come right out of your commission. So if you're making $2,300, I got a feeling you're going to be able to pay for that that monthly fee because it's cheap. But you can come in absolutely free. There can be lots of you who come in here and join this program and never even took any money out of your pocket, started making money with the program, and we'll explain that as we get closer to the program. And guess what? Just have the money come out of your commissions. And so you'll be paying a small amount, bringing in the thousands of dollars. It's that wonderful. Okay, now let's talk about something even better. Now, this is for those of you that are trying to sponsor people, and a lot of you are. We were talking about that in the chat area. A lot of you are trying to bring people in, and this is where really I would say quality is even better than quantity, because the people you get in who are excited and they try to do something, they're going to be the people that are going to make the most money. But if you sponsor that person, whatever they make in the matrix, guess what? You get 100% matching bonus. So if someone makes $500, you get an additional $500. If this person made $1,000, you get an additional $1,000. That's how it works. So let's go ahead and talk about that. We're just going to look at that first part of the matrix with you in the first 6. Okay. So anyway, the first person comes in. Maybe it came from your sponsor. And then the next person came in, but that was Sue. You talk to Sue and you say, hey, Sue, this is great. And she says, I believe you, I'm joining. So Sue signs up, and Sue is your personal sponsor, right? Well, then another person comes in, maybe from your sponsor or his upline or his sponsor. And then you start looking around, and then you talk to Ted. And Ted's Ted knows a little bit about network marketing. He said, well, this is for me. I'm going to be a part of this. So Ted is your personal sponsored member. And then you talk to Jan. Jan's really good at network marketing. She saw the light as soon as she saw the program, and Jan signs up with you. You are her personal sponsor. And then, there we go. You got another person who came in from your downline. So at that point, or your upline, let's say your sponsor brought them in. So you got your first 6 people. You get paid on all 6. However, you sponsored 3 of these people directly. So these are your personally sponsored members, and that's where the 100% matching bonus comes in. So let's say at the end of the day, let's say Sue made about $2,300 in her matrix. So you go, woohoo, great job, Sue. And then Ted, Ted knows a little bit more. He did some marketing. He brought in about $12,300, his matrix. Ted's very happy. And of course, Jan is really happy because Jan brought in $52,300 in her matrix. She is excited. All right, so that's really great. So now, how much did you make on just that one matrix? Remember? About $2,300. That's what that example shows. Now, in the example here, Sue, Ted, and Jan made money. Together, how much did they make? They made $66,900. But since you sponsored Sue, Ted, and Jan, just those 3 people, since you sponsored them, guess what? You get a matching bonus of $66,900. So instead of making $2,300, look at that. You made $69,200 because of just this matching bonus. It is that amazing. Just a couple people can. Let's say you had 10 people really that came in off the actual paid program. What happens if you had 10 people in? Let's say they all started off at the $16,000 a month, which really can happen, especially if they're bringing people in with all the spillover coming, getting them first before 500,000 to 1 million people. If just those 10 people did that, you would start off making over $160,000 a month. This is residual, not one time. This is residual, and you may not have even taken any money out of your pocket. Wouldn't that be amazing? Now, we're talking about money that will change your life. I mean this, would you get something like that? Let's say you start off and you didn't sponsor anyone. Well, you can still make about $16,000, actually over $16,000 a month, even if you don't sponsor anybody. But if you do sponsor people, let's say one person makes $16,000 a month, you get that extra $16,000 a month. So we're talking about the type of income that will change your life. If you're tired of that job, you don't like your boss, fire your boss. Get rid of them. Quit that job because you won't need it anymore. Let's say you wanted a brand new car. Now look at that car there. You have dreams. I have dreams. We all have dreams of what we want. And sometimes we know our dreams are just fantasies because, we know we don't got that type of money. We can't get those type of cars. But you know what? That might just change now. It might just change this winter because we're talking about getting access to that type of money just because we're in the right place at the right time. Or maybe you want that new home. Now look at that. It's not the mansion on the hilltop, but that's a beautiful home. Wouldn't you be proud to live there and your family be proud to live there in a nice neighborhood? It looks beautiful. Guess what? How would you like to pay cash for that? Or maybe you just want to spend more time with your family because you work. Maybe you're working more than one job. You just to make ends meet, you have to work 2 jobs. How about if you don't have to do that anymore and to spend the time and do the things you want to do with your family? Or maybe you don't even know what you want, okay? Maybe you say, well, I don't know what I want. Well, when you do know, guess what? You're going to have the money to do it, and it's all because you became a member of the Crazy Cash Club. And I think this is a good place to talk about that other program, that Global One program that started out, that took off about a year or so ago. And remember when they first started, we joined it. I know Roger and I did, but there was already several 100,000 people in that program. But we went ahead and joined it. But when they did launch it, you know what they talked about? They actually said they paid out commission checks to affiliates in the 6 and 7 figures. Think about that. Hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to affiliates. And what happened? How did those affiliates get it? Those were people that joined the very beginning. before the hundreds of thousands join. And look where we're going to be. We're going to be the very first group to join this program. Any other group or people or anybody that wants to join has to come after us. And I already told you about the force matrix. When it comes down, what happens? It starts filling those spots up. So what you can do that's most important right now is to bring as many people in, because every person you bring in now at the beginning can't help but make the most money. And what happens when they make the most money? You get the 100% matching bonus. Okay, you can live with the 16,000 or so a month. That's fine. But when you really get the 160,000 a month, when you like to see money like that. But I'll tell you one thing: if you want something like that, you have to work for it. This is the time to be bringing people in. You only have until this winter time, and then every bit you do now, every little bit of work you do now, it's going to be amplified at that time. Every person you get in, it's like cloning yourself. That's a new paycheck. Then you clone yourself. You got another person, and that's another paycheck. All these people making money, you get the 100% matching bonus. But if you don't pay attention, you don't come to the cause, you don't see what's going on, guess what? You could lose it all. It could just be gone. But if you do come, you stay focused, you tell people about it, and you try to advertise, and you bring people in, get that first person, second person, like I said, it just takes, if you just had 10 and they bring in people in and they get spillover and they're making that $16,000 a month, that's still $160,000. How many people can you bring in between now and this winter? If you do that, that's going to be part of it for you.